Hello, my name is Tara and I work at the greenhouse here in Round Rock Garden Center. Today we're just going to talk about how I take care of my personal plants at home, because when you take them from a greenhouse and bring them home, it's completely different on how you have to take care of them. So first I'll talk about what I fertilize with. I always fertilize with the Microlife seaweed. This is the liquid. I usually dilute it down quite a bit and just do it more often. But yeah, you can't over fertilize with it because it's all organic, which I highly recommend using all organic with all of your houseplants. Another thing that I do is when you water your plants, you're going to want to make sure your water has been sitting out for over 24 hours. This is going to allow all the chemicals in your tap water to evaporate. So your houseplants are very sensitive to that because they're finicky houseplants. They're tropical. They're snooty. Another thing that I like to do is, even if your plant does not have any pests, I like to put, this is just systemic granular. It's really easy. You just sprinkle it on the soil, water it in. But it's just a good prevention, because once you get them, they're pretty hard to get rid of, and then it can get them to all your other houseplants, and then that's really hard to get rid of, and now you have to treat all of them, and it's a big pain in the butt. But yeah, so right now I'm just gonna go around and show you how I can tell if my plants need to be watered, if they're good, how much water they need. But yeah, so I'll show you around. So I'm gonna go over to my first windowsill here. So I'll show you how to water the orchid later, but right now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to look at my Hoya here, and I'm gonna stick my finger into the dirt. And you can see kind of all the way down, he is dry. And with the Hoyas, you want them to be almost completely dry before watering, and my dog's drinking the water. But you want them to be almost completely dry before watering them. So I'm just gonna give it a little bit of water here, and then I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna make sure the whole top part is covered, and that's it. My cactus does not need to be watered because I only do that once a month. Here's my other Hoya, and I can see down in his dirt, he is dry. So I am going to give him a little bit, and then I'm gonna stop. And that's gonna be good for him. You just wanna give him a little bit. So this guy, this is another succulent. He is always good. Do it once a month. They can usually go a pretty long time. You're gonna make sure the whole bottom is filled. You're gonna watch it soak down, and you're gonna give him water until you see water drain out the bottom. Okay, and we see the water coming out, so we know we're good. He's kind of wilting a little bit. You can see he's wilting, so he's gonna need some water, because houseplants will talk to you, so you just have to listen when they need water. So you're gonna give him some water, let it soak in. Awesome. He's good, he's good. Fiddly figs, don't water them, only water them once a month, pretty much at the most. I mean, it's been a while, but they'll also kind of wilt a little bit when they need water. This is another cactus. Let me stick my finger in there. He's still kind of wet. Let's check this guy. So he's dry. So we're gonna go ahead and water him. That's good. One thing that you can check, okay, so I got my other water. And cover the whole top layer. You're gonna see it till water comes out the bottom. And begonias typically don't need too much water, but today is the day that they need their water. Here's another one of my Hoyas. He needs some water. This is another one of my Hoyas. He needs some water. I said I was going to show y'all how to water my orchid. So you see I have an orchid pot. It's got the holes in it and it's got the bark because in the wild they grow on trees. So we try to mimic their environment because that's the best way to keep plants happy and alive. So you're going to take your water that has been sitting out for over 24 hours and you're just going to completely drench it. Drench your whole plant. And let it soak out a bit, and then take some more, drench it, completely soak it, a little bit more, and if you have another cup of water, you can do that. I mean, you really just want to soak it. If you have a bucket, you can fill it up with water and just kind of cover the top of it and then push it under the water. Either way works, but I do this about once a week to just make sure. It really depends your mixture of potting soil. If you have all bark, you might want to do it twice a week. But if you have moss mixed in there, I would do once a week. I do once a week because I have some moss in there. But it's pretty easy. Just give them bright light, fertilizer, and enough water, not too much water, and you should get the blooms. These are a couple of my houseplants that I have outside. I like to stick them outside just because warm weather promotes new growth. So he was kind of sad, so a lot of these were written off from the garden center, so we try to save them. With this guy, he's epiphytic, so when I water him I like to get it on some of the leaves and just kind of put them around there. These are my plumerias. My cordyline. And soak down. And he's good on water. And then I have some more succulents. Here's a succulent. So succulents do this whenever they're looking for light. So you should really turn them around. So I'm going to leave him like that, and then in the next couple of days he'll move his head towards the other way, and you can keep rotating him. So and then we have these over here. You stick your finger in. I watered him the other day, so yeah, he feels fine. And most of these should be fine too. And so that's pretty much it. It's pretty easy. Main thing to do is most plants almost want to be completely dry before watering it again. It just really depends on how fast a certain plant will soak up the water or take in the water. So you're going to want to make sure that most of the plants are dry before watering again. Even if you feel a little bit of moisture, I would wait. So the main cause of death for houseplants is overwater. So make sure you're not overwatering. So that's very important. Give it a little bit at a time and then wait. A little bit at a time, wait until you see water drip out the bottom. And always, always check. You can use a pencil, you can use your finger. Just make sure it's almost completely dry. But those are a couple of my plants. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to tune in next week to learn about perennials versus annuals. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next time.